Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Techie Kumar. In the last video of this Docker tutorial, we learned about Docker image. In this video, we are going to learn about Docker image tagging. So we will see like how we can tag the existing images or we can add tags while creating new images as well. So let's start this video. So let me get into the terminal. So here I'll first pull the Ubuntu latest version. So throughout this tutorial we are mostly taking the example of Ubuntu. Now we have pulled Ubuntu image from the Docker Hub repository. We have mentioned a name or a value after this colon. So that is actually a tag. And if you talk about the definition of tag is just an alias for an image ID. So if you talk about the image ID, you know, right, whenever we create an image ID is assigned to that image. So this is the image ID and this latest is just a alias for that image ID. We cannot remember this image ID, but we can remember the tag of that image. For example, if we create another tag with some version number, so we can keep in mind that yes, I need to work on the image having version 21.0, right? So that's why we have tag here. So now let's talk about the tag syntax. So tag syntax is like we have to specify the host and then the port number and then forward slash, and then we need to specify the path. Host and port till forward slash, these things are optional when you are creating an image and you are providing a tag. So these things are optional, and after providing this path you specify the tag. This is the path where place where you specify the tag name. Okay, so this is the syntax of the uh, tag, where we need to specify the tag name after the colon. Before that we will have host, port and path specified. If you are not providing host, port and forward slash, so this is by default, it's being taken from the Docker registry. So by default the value would be, so this would be the value if you are not providing this input. So for example, here we have not provided the path, right, while pulling the image, but by default it takes this host name and the port as well. And this docker.io is a canonical name of the Docker Hub repository. Fine. So now let's see how we can create a tag when we are creating an image as well. Okay, so let's clear this. So as you remember, we have Docker file created, so we are going to use this Docker file to create a image. So now we have 8 lines of Docker file, and here we have these instructions, and these instructions will be used to build an image. So I hope it's good so far. So let's move to the building image by providing the tag. So let's build an image from the Docker file. We need to specify the tag name for the image which we are going to build. So let's say we give it like Ubuntu colon, and we can mention some version. So let's say I mention it like 26.0, and then we mention the file name, it's Docker file name, and then the location of the Docker file name. So now you can see that image is created, right? So let's see what is the tag assigned for that image. So you can see we have our image created, and image ID is different from the last one, and it has its different tag. Let's create more tags. So let's suppose you have done some changes in your Docker file, and then after you are building a new image. So it means you have done some modification, and that modifications are dedicated to some to newer version. So let's say you have done development for the newer version, that is 27.0. So in this case, when you are going to create an image or build an image from the Docker file, then you have to specify the 27.o as a tag. So let's do that. Docker, fine. So that image is built. Now let's see what's the tag assigned. Okay, so you can see here, this is the uh, image id and this is the tag. Since we have assumed that we have done the changes, but in fact we have not done any change, that's why the image id remains same. But if you had done any change in your Docker file, definitely you would have received a new image id with the tag with 27.o. Okay, so is it possible to tag an existing image? Yes, it's possible. Let's say we have an image id 27.o and we want to tag it. So we can do that using a command docker image tag. So here you can see, right, we have docker image tag, then we need to mention the source image, and this tag is optional. So whatever it's mentioned inside brackets, those are optional. And then we need to provide the name of the target image and the tag if you are interested. If you are not providing the tag, it means by default Docker assigned it as a latest. So let's see this. So I'm going to tag the existing image. So we can tag image using image id as well. So let's say instead of using the source image tag, I'm going to use the reference. So I'm going to use the id. So I have used the image id and now I'm going to provide the another tag. So this is the tag I am going to assign for this image id. So let's hit enter and see what's happening. Okay, so it's done. We can verify it with this command. So you can see here for the same image id we have a different tag. So it means multiple tags can point to the same image. Okay, now this time we use the image id. Now let's use the image name as well along with tag. So okay, let me just clear out. Let's create another tag for the existing image, and if I mention 27.o, I can just mention 27. It means you don't need to remember like 27.o. Even if it is mentioned 27, it means this is 27, right? So let's hit this. Okay, so now here you can see 27.0, 27, July release 2023. All three tags are pointing to the same image id. As we discussed, right, we are not providing any hostname details or port details. We are just mentioning here the path and the tag. Path and tag. We are not providing the details, right? As we discussed in the beginning, we need to provide hostname, port, and forward slash and path. So we are just providing the path and the tag. So let's see, like, because here we are not providing, by default it would be the registry1.docker.io, right, what we discussed. But in case of private registry, suppose you are running your own registry, in that case this will not work. You must have to provide your registry details while creating an image. So let's see how we will do this. So let me create a registry, docker container run. Okay, so if we just want to verify whether it's running or not, we can do docker container ls. So it's up and running. Now if I have to create an image in my local repository, local registry, so we have to specify this host name along with the port number and the path. Since registry is running in my local system, that's why we are providing localhost. But in real scenario, this registry runs in a remote location, and we need to provide the remote location address along with the port, and then after those images will be pushed to that repository. So let's see that how we are going to do that. So let's create another image using the same Docker file. This time we are going to provide the complete details. So here I have provided the complete details: localhost, the host name, and the port and the path. And then I have provided a tag name as a dev. So looking at this, someone can understand this software is under the development, and that's why this image is going to be used for the development purpose. So now let's hit enter. So if we verify the image, now we can see here we have a full detail of localhost, port, and the path, right? Now we have learned like how the tagging is happened, and how what are the various ways to create tags. You can create tag while building an image, or you can tag them after building the image, right? So we discussed about them. Now let's go to the Docker Hub documentation. So this is the Docker Hub page. I will share this link, and if you come here, they have mentioned like host, port, and path is optional. So the same thing I have discussed, you can go through this document and try to understand. So I hope it's clear for you guys how to create tags. It's really very simple, it's not that much complicated. So that's all for this video. I hope you have liked this video. If you have really liked this video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe my channel if you haven't subscribed my channel yet. Thank you so much for watching my video.